express my
Tracy Claeys now on the podium.
To the University of Nebraska, Michigan State University, the friends and family of, or the loss of two great young men way too early. So tough deal. As far as University of Minnesota goes, is that we're going to enter the season with what I think is our best football team since we've been here. We have 5 years invested in the program. And the group of kids that we've got, like most teams, I suppose have had a great summer, competed extremely hard to make themselves better, and we're definitely looking forward to the season and competing in one of the toughest conferences, if not the toughest conference, week in and week out.
Thank you very much, Coach. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get the microphone right over to you. Coach, we're going to start on our left side of the room here, all the way down front.
Hey, Coach. Andy Greeter with the St. Paul Pioneer Press. How are you?
Doing good, thank you.
When you look back at last year and the difficult schedule that you had and the injuries and you coming on midterm, what did you learn about your team and the resiliency for you guys to be able to hang in a lot of those games and get a win in a bowl game?
Yeah, I think I'm very proud of the way our kids competed. They had to work through quite a few obstacles, let alone the injuries, and everything we've built has been built on the principles of with Coach Kill, and we've been together a long time. And everybody in the football program was at the University of Minnesota because of him, and so that was a tough deal. But I couldn't be prouder of the way we competed as the year went on. You lose 7 ball games, and 6 of those teams have 10 wins or more. But we had our opportunities in the fourth quarter to do some things in those games and didn't quite get them done. Obviously the competition part, the way we played, I'm proud of. At the same time, we all know that, it was great to win a bowl game for the first time in 7 years and be a part of the Quick Lane Bowl, but that's not our goal. Is that we have 2 goals at the University of Minnesota, and that's to win the Big Ten and graduate all of our players. And so we've got some work to do there. I do think winning the bowl game give our kids some energy during the off season, and like I said, we've had as good off season as we've had, and looking forward to see our kids compete because they expect better themselves also.
Coach, our next question is on our right on the aisle.
Hey, Tracy, Joe Christensen, Star Tribune. This is Mitch's 3rd time here at Media Days. I'm just wondering, did you find yourself looking to him for advice on what kind of things you're going to expect here? And along those lines, just how much does it help you having a veteran quarterback with a change in offense and stuff?
Right. People recognize him more than they do me, so that's a good thing. But, no, he's done a great job, and I think to return a veteran quarterback and we have him, and he's being from the state of Minnesota. And I'll tell you what, the way that kid competed last year through the injuries that he had, I think it makes it easy for his teammates to get out there and follow him. And this summer he's done a lot of things with the kids in smaller groups to get our team close. And it's easy to follow a kid like that who every time he steps on the football field gives it his best. And ultimately, all he wants is a win for the University of Minnesota. So we truly are lucky to have him back for another season.
Floor is open right now. If you have a question, please raise your hand. All the way in the back of the room on our left, Coach.
Hi, Coach. Matt Justin Howard from the Gopher Report. I'm just curious about the wide receivers. You guys lost KJ May, but have a lot of guys back. What do you see at that position?
Yeah, we have to have somebody step up and replace KJ. He made a tremendous amount of catches a year ago, especially for first downs and touchdowns. And so, obviously we need somebody to replace him. But I think with Rashad Steele and I think Eric Carter being a senior, we'll have a good year. That is the place, though, that we have to prove ourselves, is a wide receiver. Hunter Register's a kid that we redshirted last year. He's a very talented kid, but I think we have the talent there. But obviously, as they'll be judged on game day, and for our 2 running backs to have as good a year as I think they'll have, is we're going to need Rashad and Eric and some of those guys to step up and make some plays for us. get people out of the box.
Go stay in the back of the room there, Coach, and then come forward.
Hi, Coach. Scott Docterman, Cedar Rapids Gazette. I wanted to ask about Mitch and how his relationship has grown over the last few months with Jay Johnson, and what kind of positives, what are you doing to try to magnify his skill set and still maintain kind of the approach you guys have had since you came aboard a few years ago?
Well, you know, Coach Johnson was a great fit. Mitch was actually coached in the high school and junior high by Jay's dad there in the Twin Cities. So that's been a pretty smooth transition. And, you know, as far as you know, to Mitch, I think we have to, when you have a returning senior quarterback that's as good a leader as he is, and you have to play to his strengths. And I think that's my only thing I've told the guys on offense and Coach Johnson is, hey, let's find out what he does really well. And that's what we need to do on game day. We don't need to experiment. And if we played our kids' strengths, I think we've got a chance each weekend to have an opportunity to win the ball game. And so, you know, we've only had 14 days with Coach Johnson there as the offensive coordinator. We need to make sure in the first 20 practices, the number one goal will be to find out what Mitch does best, to get him most comfortable, to allow him to lead on game day rather than do a bunch of experiments.
Coach, right down in front of us.
Tracy, Teddy Greenstein for Chicago Tribune. I read where the Ivy League is changing some stuff up with kickoffs. Wondering if you guys talked about that as Big Ten coaches, and what do you see as the future of that? Do you think it is too dangerous to stay in the game?
You know, we haven't talked about it as Big Ten coaches. I mean, my own personal belief is if that play obviously is causing that many injuries and it's that obvious from the data, then we need to replace it. Find a good way to replace it and get it out of the game. I think the player safety is always the number one priority. And so, you know, my own thing is that I would like to see them, you know, rather than have the doubles and teams and stuff like that, I would like to see them first is let's try to do it where it's all man blocking. So you don't have the 2-on-1 blockings at full speed and that, and turn it all into a man-to-man scheme and give that a chance first. But if the injuries continue to happen on that one play, I do think it's in the best interest of the game to find another option.
Coach will go all the way in the back left of the room, back left corner.
Hi, Coach. Jason Jorgensen from the Rural Radio Network. Where do you foresee this offense heading to, or what are some of the improvements you'd like to see?
Well, I think that we have to get back to being physical up front and being able to run the ball on a more consistent basis. And you know, the guys on offense, the thing that will help us the most is just eliminating negative yardage plays. You go back, and some of those are self-inflicted with penalties, but a lot of times it's missed and block here, letting somebody run through, and especially on first down. We had a lot of negative yardage plays on first down, and now you're behind from the very beginning, and all the advantages go to the defense. So we need to be more consistent on first and second down of not having negative yardage plays and make third down much more manageable, because I do think with the wide receivers and Brandon Lingram at tight end and our two running backs, I think for the first time we'll be able to be balanced and spread the field and make people defend a bunch of different options. So, but in order to do that, you know, we're going to have to play better in the offensive line.
Coach will stay back in that corner of the room.
Mike Clark from the Lake County News-Sun. Coach, could you talk about Jack Lynn a little bit and his progression from being a redshirt freshman to now to being one of your captains and one of the top linebackers around? Yeah,
you know, Jack from Lake Zurich is that chose to come to the University of Minnesota, and we were able to redshirt him his first year. And I tell you what, a big thrill for him to get the opportunity to come back to the Chicagoland area. But he's always worked extremely hard. He's a great student of the game. He watches a lot of video, and he finally, you know, he put on the weight that he needed, and you know, has been one of our best leaders, you know, this summer on the defensive side of the ball, and so I'm really excited for him. Like I say, to go into this year with him being a senior in what we consider our best group. And let's face it, you know, you look at the teams every year that do well at the end of the year, and their seniors have their best years. And I look forward to our seniors playing well, and if they do, they're going to get rewarded.
We have time for a couple more. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Coach will come over on our right on the aisle toward the back.
Hey, Tracy, what with Travis? Do you have to cut back on how much he's on the field because of that hamstring, or do you just let him go like he did in the past?
Just kind of let him go. You know, be careful in fall camp, but I think he's went through the rehab the way he should, and you know, he's been a very durable player. All the time he's been here is kind of a freak deal. The last play of the TCU game, so I don't anticipate any problems. And again, to win, you got to have your best players on the field, and he's definitely one of our best people, and we'll ride him as long as he can play.
Again, time for a couple more. Okay, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you.